I've done another podcast. Remember Joe, who I met in the park? Like, I didn't meet him in the park. We went and did the podcast in the park. Just, I don't know why we did in the park. I think it was just the most convenient location. But that was like a year and a bit ago. And since then, he's had a whole load of other stuff happening in his life, and so have I. So it was good to catch up again. He wanted to be on the podcast again, but this time I can't remember what the reason was, but we couldn't meet up in person, so we just did it virtually, which sounds easier than it actually is, for me at least. Like, all of the stuff that I have here, and it's like somehow it's harder for me to get my head around like doing it over Discord than it is to just physically get in the car and drive to someone and sit down with two microphones. I don't know why, but we got there in the end, and then we had this conversation. And the thing is, when you're doing it over Discord, you have to, like, there's always these pauses where you're waiting for it to, like, there's a delay, so someone will speak, and then there's a delay, and then someone else speak back. So it's like I had to trim a lot of those out, and because of the fact that we just had two webcams, well, he had his webcam, I had a webcam, but like for my footage I decided to use the phone footage because it looks so much nicer. But like I just trimmed it, and it's kind of choppy looking. There's certain times when I would go off on a long tangent that didn't really lead anywhere, or there's bits where the audio cuts out and stuff. So I was just trying to trim those out just so it's a more pleasant experience watching it. But it was a good chat. We talked about all sorts of things, and I think you should watch it. It's like, it's a whole thing. It's the podcast. The Hot Potato Podcast is back with another episode. I don't know what to do when I don't have guests. Like, what do you want me to just talk to the wall? I can't. So then there's just no episodes for ages. And that's just going to have to be something that we all deal with. You know. Well, here we go. Here's Joe. Round 2. On the Hot Potato Podcast. Hello. Apologies for the delay. Let me just sync this up a sec. Right, that was a whole situation right there. So I'm recording the screen, but are you recording audio there?
No. Do you want me to?
Ideally. Just in case it...
You can do that on OBS, can't you?
I am recording it on OBS. It might be alright. I don't know if...
I'll record it.
Just in case, yeah. Just in case. But yeah, it sounds alright. It sounds good. Yeah, I've just spent a long time just going through all of me drawers and wires and cables and just thinking, how do I bypass like what I normally do? So I've just got a whole machine here. I've got like the headset and stuff. So now it's actually, I feel like I could do this more and more now that I've set this up, but it was just quite a stress. Have you just been sat there waiting since like whatever time it was supposed to be, 1 o'clock?
I've just been chilling on my bed and playing Roblox.
Yeah, oh, fair enough. As long as you've not just been sat there like, hello, for like 2 hours.
No.
So it's been a while. It's been like, how long?
It's been over a year. The last podcast was, what date was it? June 30th, 2023.
Wow, different times. We were sat in the park in Hawaiian shirts.
I know. I've still got that Hawaiian shirt somewhere.
Yeah, I don't even think I've got mine, to be honest. I was just going to put it on there, but no, I don't think I've got it anymore. But yeah.
I've not got my bike anymore.
No, but no bikes at all.
Oh well, no, I've got a new bike.
But the yellow one's gone.
I've still got the yellow one in my back garden, but it's just a frame.
Yeah, just a shell of its former self.
Yeah.
So you're still doing that kind of thing? Like, it's been, like, last time we spoke, what was it going on? Was it GCSEs that were up and coming?
No, I'd just done my GCSEs. I'd started my summer holidays.
So since then, have you been to, like, college?
Yeah, I'm in my second year of college now.
What are you doing at college?
Well, I started off doing graphic design. Sorry, I tell a lie. I started off doing art and design, and then about 6 months through, I got bored of it and I switched to graphic design. That's just what I prefer.
It seems like it's kind of still in the same ballpark sort of thing. It's just more specific.
Yeah, because last year I'm pretty sure I said I wanted to go to product design.
I should have rewatched the episode back just to remember all the things that we talked about and how how we finished it, but I've not done that. Barely had a way to set this up, to be honest. It's been a nightmare. You said something, you were like, I'm going to write down some topics that I want to discuss.
Oh yeah, let me get them.
Bring up that list.
Right, so I've got fashion and vintage clothing, music, more bikes, a bit more about Carhartt.
Yeah.
Just anything else that comes up in conversation, I suppose.
Vintage clothing, bikes, and you said music. All right, we'll go in like reverse order here. So Carhartt was a big part of like what we talked about last time. You're all about Carhartt. Everything's got to be. Was it a jumper or was it a T-shirt that you had with like the Carhartt logo on it?
It was a T-shirt.
Yeah. And that was underneath the lovely yellow Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
And you were all about finding Carhartt stuff. Since then, I think I saw you on Instagram wearing what looked like a very cool outfit. Was it like a prom thing? And it was a pink jacket with the bow tie.
Yeah, that was my prom outfit. So that was that after we filmed the first podcast? I think it might have been shortly after we filmed it.
It might have been, but I saw it and I was like, this stands out as like the best outfit in these pictures, you know? So it kind of checked out with what you were saying. But yeah, the pink thing, I would never have thought of that as like an outfit choice. But is that like, when you were talking about vintage clothing and fashion before, is that something that you find these things from like old vintage shops or?
No, I got that jacket from Marks and Spencer's with my mum.
In pink?
Yeah, it's pink linen. I've still got it, but that prom night, the after party, some girl ripped the pocket off it.
What, in a moment of passion?
Well, she was drunk and she grabbed it and ripped it.
Nightmare. I was in Marks and Spencer's today. I was looking at coats, but because I'm wearing shorts, every time I put a coat on, it went to the bottom of the shorts, and it made me look like an old nana. Like, it's just something like about the fact that there's just bare legs underneath the coat. It looked either like a flasher or like a nana.
Yeah.
So it wasn't quite as cool as I thought. But there's quite a lot of good stuff going on. It seems like Marks and Spencer's, people worry that it's like old people clothes or whatever, but it's pretty trendy the way that the mannequins and stuff are laid out.
Yeah. Well, they do have some good clothes, but I find fit-wise, it's not very good for me.
Was it like too small, too long, too?
Yeah, just too small. That prom night, I had a pair of like M&S suit trousers on, just to go with the whole suit. They were a 50-inch waist, which is like, I wanted a bit of room because if I'm going to be dancing and everything, you know.
You don't want to bust the trousers on the dance floor. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But these were a 50 waist and they were really tight, which was really odd because I'm usually only a 46 waist.
That's a worry. I just picked up a pair of 46 trousers from M&S, so I really hope I need them for work tomorrow. But hopefully that'll be all right. A lot of the things I was trying on, it was okay, but like they were at the limit of like my size. If I was any bigger, like it's literally like to the millimeter. It'll just about fasten kind of thing. But that's M&S, isn't it? I mean, if you're talking big clothes, where's the best place to get like bigger clothes, do you think?
I mean, for me, I found Carhartt works best.
Carhartt, yeah. That's the first time I'm hearing that word
today. I don't think I've ever mentioned it before.
Carhartt. So this is another thing. This is another element of Carhartt. It's not just the brand. It's also good for like bigger sizes and stuff.
Yeah, if you look, not necessarily the new stuff, but the older stuff. You know, the vintage.
Oh yeah.
It goes into really big sizing. I've seen like pairs of Carhartt jeans that are like a 70-inch waist.
Wow.
That is huge.
There's a few people I've seen like on TikTok and stuff, like they'll have old 70s style clothes. I love stuff like from the 70s, and they'll be like much bigger sizes what they have. Like there's a guy on there, you see him, he starts his video in a vest, and he has like a specific signature aftershave for the day, and then he wears like fancy glasses and stuff. But he's like a really big guy, and he seems to have really fashionable clothes.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I think every different like advertiser now, every brand, they look at bigger people for their adverts. Like the Calvin Klein adverts now are like normal sized people rather than supermodels or whatever. It's a thing. But that's something like when you talk about fashion, especially vintage fashion, people in the 70s were tiny. Like they were just like, it's just weird how thin everybody was. So all of the clothes from that style surely would just be a nightmare for anybody who's not skinny.
Yeah, but I suppose they had a lot of stuff like tailors back then. So
you get bigger stuff and then have it snipped down.
Altered.
Apparently that's what a lot of fashion people do. They'll get everything tailored.
Well, I've got a pair of trousers in the tailors at the moment just because they're really nice, but they're quite slim around the leg.
Yeah.
So I want them a bit wider.
What did they do there? Like, did they get the same fabric from?
Yeah, they open the seams on the sides of the leg and they add extra fabric in.
But you've got to have that like same like fabric from.
Yeah. Luckily I had another pair of trousers that I could use. So I gave both pairs of trousers to the tailor, and I told her what I wanted doing, and she said, "Yeah, I'll do that for you."
So was it like you had two pairs of the same ones?
We're both the same brand, but they were basically the same fabric, like a black canvas.
Right. It would be interesting to see. I don't know if you document this type of thing, but if you get a pair of clothes, you should start doing this if you haven't. Whatever it fits like when you get it, you should take a picture of it like that, and then once it's been tailored, take another picture, like just to document your kind of, because your full wardrobe's going to end up being all like customized and fitted to you.
Well, I only wear like a few certain pieces. My wardrobe's quite basic.
I'd say like for the most part, from like when I met you, I don't know how strongly I'd insisted on the Hawaiian shirt, but like that was an unusual choice. You wouldn't normally be wearing something like that. Like right now you're wearing like a hoodie, I'm just wearing a normal t-shirt. Neither of us are wearing unusual clothing. So this is a normal day. But like if you want to go all out, if you got a prom or something coming up, then you get a special outfit.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so the other thing that you wanted to mention here was bikes. So you're still doing it, you're still fixing bikes, and you get old bikes and you get them checked and everything, make sure they're safe and legal.
Yeah. Well, I've got a new mountain bike that I got in July. I bought it from a local bike shop and I've fixed it up. But that's perfect for me because it's a bit of a bigger frame. It's an XL frame.
Yeah.
And obviously, being quite tall, it's just good for me to have.
I never thought about frame size. I always thought like that once the seat gets to a certain height, like that's all you could do. But you get physically a bigger, just the whole thing is expanded.
Yeah, well, that yellow bike from last year, that just in the end got a bit too small for me. There was only a certain height that I could put the seat up to until I was basically kind of hunched over the handlebars, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're still in that phase, like, how old are you? 17 now?
Yeah, I'm 17. I'm 18 in February.
So you find that you still... I can't remember when I stopped growing, like, when people stop growing. Like, are you still checking and regularly changing height?
I think I'm still growing a bit. I think in terms of height, I'm about 6'3".
6'3". I think we might have mentioned this when we met. It was like you were quite tall at the time.
Yeah.
Let me just Google, when do people stop growing? When do people stop growing? So apparently between 18 and 20, most people will... Like, there's a lot of people that I know that I talk to now. They're like short men. They'd be like 5'9", 5'8", and stuff. It's not like short, but it is something that they're insecure about for their whole life. And they'll go to great lengths to try and add a couple of inches to wear shoe inserts and stuff like that. But you're already 6'3", and potentially you could get another few inches growing over the next couple of years.
Definitely.
I mean, that's the dream, really, for most people. They want to be over 6 foot, really, isn't it? That's the...
Yeah.
So you're pretty lucky in that sense. But I hadn't thought about how that affects you if you ride bikes, you know? I've never known anybody, like, outgrow... I guess kids outgrow bikes, but it's just... You're still growing. It's something that it's a weird thing to even think about. It's like...
Well, it's funny because I am quite tall, but for my height, I've got really short legs, so I've got a longer torso. So even though I've got like a bike with an XL frame, it depends what XL frame you get because there's loads of different measurements to consider.
How did this come up? How did this discovery come about? This like torso to leg ratio measurement?
I just noticed that whenever I was buying trousers, like say a 32 leg, they were way too long, and whenever I was buying t-shirts, they were way too short. They look like crop tops.
So did you have someone like officially measure this, or was it like a conclusion you'd come to on your own?
It's just something that I've concluded on my own. But if I look in a mirror, like a full body mirror, you can kind of see my legs are a bit shorter than they usually would be.
What is like? Is it normal like to be like a 50-50 ratio type thing?
Yeah, I mean, some people have longer legs, some people have longer torsos.
I've never thought that. I've never known that be a thing, but I guess it obviously must be. You know when people say, "Oh, she's got long legs" or whatever. It's like,
yeah.
So some people's legs go like not to here, but you know, like when you see Dee Dee from Dexter's Lab, like the way she's drawn. It's like I've never thought about that. I'm gonna have to measure myself now. I don't even have a measuring tape. I have a sellotape, which I'll try and. All right, so what are you? So what? Oh, let me just. I'll have to stand up. One sec. Right, so the full length to there. Probably. That's the full length, and to there. This is a complicated measurement. Right. I don't know if you've got tape there to check, but I've crimped this in the middle. Right. So this, this is really not a very accurate way to measure this, but I believe this is my lower half. This bit here. And it does seem a little bit, you can't even show it on the full screen. Right, so this is the lower part of my body from the waist to the feet. Right? And then this is the other part. I guess that's pretty even, to be honest. So if you were to do this, it's going to be like the legs here, and then the torso is like that kind of ratio. There's certain things though, aren't there? There's like the kind of the low rise or whatever.
Oh yeah, like I think really that mainly applies to women's clothes. Like all my trousers and everything, I wear at the hip, like just below your stomach.
Yeah. I used to do that more, but now I find like I'm wearing them more on the waist, and it's totally changed my life. Like everything was a stress, and now I just fasten them right at the waist, and I have to buy bigger trousers for it, but I'm way more comfortable knowing that my belly's not going to come out or anything, you know?
It's the opposite way around for me. I always used to wear mine at the waist a bit higher up, but it just got uncomfortable for me.
Yeah. It's an uncomfortable thing. I mean, you got the choice of either having like it's zipped up and you got the belly in the trousers, or the belly's out, you know? You see it all when you go to any shopping mall or whatever. There's like men that have made a decision of either have the belly out or the belly in, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a belly in now. I was belly out for too long. Now I'm belly in, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
It's weird how bikes have led back to that, though. Because that was us discussing bikes, but it's led back to height and ratios and where you wear your trousers, which leads back to the fashion thing.
Yeah.